So this is a quick guide to rigging a hand to an Oculus controller with the new XRInputToolkit. If you've already got the XR input installed, first XR room scale rig should give you one of these. Now for setup for that, I grabbed the hand from Can-Do's. I'll put the link in the comments, and you stick that inside your XR rig next to your hand controller. For the hand controller, I've got an Oculus Touch just sitting there, and then this right controller gloved is the hand provided from the asset off the asset store. They don't fit very well, but fortunately it's got an animation controller already set up. So head into here, and all I did was mess around initially with these to get the hand position almost right. Now the other thing I did that helped was to grab the model and delete the material, because at bright magenta it is much easier to see what's going on with this this glove. The main thing to do, of course, is to move the child item, not the parent. The parent's the one that's going to be tracked and moved around. So it's the child where you want to do your fine changes. If you get it roughly where it should be, then set up your percentages for different parts of the hand. If the hand isn't rigged, you're going to have to rig it first, of course, but they should all be rigged, the ones on the asset store. Then you need to set this up in code. So, I'm off the bottom of the screen. So, in this case, the asset came with an abstract hand controller that just maps to the animation controller you saw there. And first bit, in update XRInputToolkit, this is the standard lines from there to grab the input device for the held in hand, i.e. controller, right hand. And then next section, this is my handling for the trigger. So take the values from Unity from here. In this case, it was index finger. Figure out what values you need are, and store those as your limits. And then again, using XRInputToolkit, if it can find the common usages trigger, then it does a lerp between the min and the max value. If it can't, it just puts the index finger to whatever the min value you'd set was. And finally, for the thumb handling, I did, because with the thumb I wanted it to appear to press whether you pressed any of the buttons, and for this particular asset I could not be bothered to manually set up targets for all the different buttons. I just made it seem to squeeze for in the same position no matter which button you pressed. Took a boolean, and then using XRInputToolkit tried each of the buttons in turn with an or equals, so it'll just pick up if any of them were pressed, and then again picked a percentage based on what I'd found seemed to fit nicely in the animator. The only other thing I did that was worth doing is checking that the distance moved on the primary axis is more than a threshold, because there will be some kind of dead zone, and there's quite a lot of noise I found on the Oculus Touch 2 controllers for very close to you pressing the trigger when you've just about started.